Hey everyone, this is Dan Charles with Liteforex. It is December 13th, 2019. I'm going to break down the major Forex pairs starting with the Australian USD. Okay, so Australian USD has been breaking out the last couple days, but it's hitting resistance around 69,107. You can see it's having trouble breaking that price. Hit resistance going back in early November, pulling back. Now it's trying to break out again, hitting that same resistance, pulling back. The momentum is definitely to the downside. You can look at the monthly chart here. You can see how rangy just the last 3 months, 3, 4, 5 months actually have been on the Australian USD. If we look at the Australian futures, a little bit the same. You can see that resistance. The pressure is to the downside going forward. I'm going to lean more to the downside on Monday. New Zealand USD, very bearish candle we have here. We're very overextended just based on the weekly chart. We have a gap between the moving average. To me, this looks like price is going to pull back. I see price pulling back next trading day. Strong support is at 65,450. Right in there. So that's 65,434. You can just see that level in there. Strong support. If it busts through that support, it's going to go lower. Maybe it holds, but as of right now, this to me looks like it's going to come down and potentially test that support. Let's check the New Zealand futures. Looks a little bit different. I always like to check the futures with the Forex pairs because I can get my accuracy a lot higher that way. It's looking like there's some resistance at the high hit today, around 66.30, 0.6630. We draw that in. 630. Yeah, so right now we have this gap between the moving average. Whenever you have a breakout like this, big rangy candle the previous week, we go a little bit higher. This looks to me like this is going to pull back next week. Needs to hold that support level, 0.6546. Not everyone looks at the futures as well, but it gives you just a different look than only looking at the New Zealand USD. Euro USD had a nice break today, but pulled back. The bulls were in control. The bears took over. Now you can just see how sideways the Euro USD has been. You can really see it on the weekly chart here in this range between 1.11783 and 1.10207. It's in between that range. You want to see it break and close above one of those ranges before I would take a position. Very bearish candle. To me, this looks like this should pull back. We do have some support at this level right in here, around 1.10624. You can just see here that there was support. Price pulled back. Definitely had support before it took off. It needs to hold that support, and to me it looks like it's going to come down and test that price. If we look at the Euro futures, same type of thing. Gaps up, pulls back, and we're back in this range. We're below this price here. 1.11240. Yeah, to me the momentum is to the downside. Now we do have support on the Euro futures. Right in this price here. 1.10085. I'm thinking that the euro is going to pull back on Monday. Pound USD, there was an election in the UK, and this sent the pound soaring up against the USD. The momentum is to the downside. We have this gap that could potentially be filled. I feel like the price is going to pull back next day. Now we got to look at the low of today's candle, which was 1.33062. You want to see it have support on that low today. If price breaks that low, I'm thinking the gap is going to definitely be filled. Let's take a look at the pound futures. It's looking pretty much the same. You can see that support 3,300 on the pound futures. Yeah, if that breaks, we're going to come back. We're going to come down and look for some support at the previous resistance price. Some resistance around 32.11. So also look for some support after that if it fills that gap. USDCAD is definitely setting up more bearish. The low today, 1.31509. It's really setting up bearish on the weekly chart, but it's still it's rangy. It's looking more bearish, but it's still quite rangy. But it looks more like there's more downside. I'm always going to look at the Canadian dollar. When I look at the USDCAD, I know there's strong support at 75 cents on the Canadian dollar, and so I'm thinking we're going to be more bullish going forward on the Canadian dollar, which would be bearish on the USDCAD. Okay, the USD yen is going with the US stock market, and the last couple days the US stock market's been going up, and the USD yen as well. There is some resistance though around 1.9571. You can see here there was this level over here, pulled back, hitting that resistance. We came up, we crossed that price, and then we pulled back and closed below. So this needs to break above that resistance. But you can also see very, very strong support down here at 1.108.420. You can just see how strong that support is. Held the support, break out, hit the resistance, hit the support again, break out, hit the resistance again. It's going to break one way or the other. To me, it looks more bullish as the market just wants to keep going higher and higher in the US. So look for that to go higher. Let's take a look at the yen futures. Now the previous day on the 12th, the yen was really setting up bearish. Let's see, what was the low today? 0.0091160. It's not significant support at that price, but you can see there is strong support around 0.0091355. These are big numbers, but you can just see the support at that price. So obviously if it holds that support and this bounces to the upside, it's going to do the opposite to the yen. Okay, US dollar Swiss franc is definitely trending more bearish. Look for support though at 0.98,000 there. 0.98,000. Right in there. Very, very sideways just based on the higher time frames, the weekly, although it did break down finally this week. You can see just how rangy it was. It's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up. Breaks out a little bit, then pulls back into range, and then it breaks down, but still in that range. So let's see if it can hold this support at 0.98,000. Let's check out the Swiss franc futures. Of course, this is going to be the opposite, and it's always good to look at the opposite. Looking at the futures, you can just see here there is some resistance at the high 1.0200, just like we have the support on the USD Swiss, we have the resistance. But you can just see here, we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, we break out again, we pull back, we break out. So this is setting up more, it's setting up more bullish, just like the USD Swiss is looking more bearish, but we gotta see those support and resistance prices get taken out before I would be taking any sort of position on the Swiss currency. Okay, so that is the breakdown for the major currencies for December 13th, 2019. Please subscribe to the channel to get more videos. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.